What's going on? Is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Down here in downtown Detroit, actually, I'm just getting around on my bike over here. And it's an e-bike, so it's pedal assist, and then you set the standard. So you could choose whether you just want to cruise and you can just, rock out with regular pedaling, or you could set it up to where once you pedal at certain amount, then it starts to go certain speeds, and then I got it up to like 20-25 miles an hour, just riding it as a moped or whatever. It's the only way to get around in a major city, real talk. And I kind of adopted that and learned that being in other cities, including over there in the Dominican Republic. I seen how they was getting around in Tokyo. Even the Uber drivers and stuff, they all get around on mopeds as far as down in Miami and other cultures. And so when the weather permits, and it's funny because I was actually thinking about getting another motorcycle, but I was gonna get a big boy. But I'm a crotch rocket, super sport, and I like Honda, so I was gonna get a Honda CBR 1000 RR or whatever like that. And then I considered a Ducati, because then my homeboy Quentin was like, yo, Anton, you need to go ahead and get a Ducati or whatever. I considered getting that, but then I wound up just go ahead, and because I was already gonna get the e-bike anyway, because I like to hit the DeQuinder cut and all of that here in Detroit. But this is the only way to get around. I didn't park my Porsche, I parked the Mercedes, I parked the Impala SS, all of that stuff. And if the weather is not bad, then that's the only way that I get around. But I want to share with y'all some other thoughts. And my other thoughts are, I was talking to a couple of mentees. So one person I was talking to, he actually is an entrepreneur, recently became an entrepreneur. And so he didn't quit his job, but he became an entrepreneur. And so he's doing the real estate thing, but he's actually building houses similar to me, except for, he's, playing it a little bit differently. I'm financing mine 100% myself, but he's doing it a little bit differently. And he's an architect, right? And he's over more on the West Coast. And then I was looking at somebody else that I reacted to on the Millionaire Morning Show. And I see a lot of these videos of these women, mostly women. I haven't seen any guys yet, but I see mostly women quitting their jobs to become content creators. And there's a similar theme, right? A couple different things that they're saying. Number one, both from the mentee and from the content creator. But number one, the first thing that they saying is, and this is how a lot of people get around. I don't know if you can see that person, but they got a regular bicycle or whatever. But the first thing is, it's incredibly fucking hard. And a lot of people are not telling y'all the truth. They out here and they thinking that they gonna make all of this money. And let's just say, for example, you have a really good month, right? But that doesn't mean that you're gonna have a great month every single month, or you're gonna generate the exact same amount of money per month that you did last month. So the life of an entrepreneur in general, fuck just being a content creator, but the life of an entrepreneur in general can be very, very difficult depending on what it is that you're trying to get into. And if you're trying to set your life up or your lifestyle up based off of how much you generate as an entrepreneur, you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna have good months, you're gonna have bad months. And this goes for any industry, right? You could be a restaurateur, you could be a content creator, you could be a developer, you could be a recruiter, you could do a lot of different things. You can be a consultant, and you're going to have really great months. Some of y'all don't even have great months. Some of y'all just crash out. And then you're gonna have some months that's not so hot. And so you're gonna have to plan for that. It's gonna be a lot that goes along with it, but more importantly, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And so that brings me to my second point, which is you don't have the luxury that everybody else has to be able to just sit around, go to work, know that you have a guaranteed paycheck coming in every single month, and then that's the end of the conversation, right? And I'm saying every month because that's the way that we budget our money a lot of times. I budget monthly, I've always budgeted monthly, but that's the mindset of an entrepreneur. A lot of people budget weekly, bi-weekly, they get paid 2-3 times a month, whatever like that. We don't have that luxury, right? That's not our life. And so, although I do have multiple sources of income, which also include having a day job, most people that are living this entrepreneur life, some of them even budget based off of the quarter, right? I know contractors that work for me, for example, that's building a house, and they framers and stuff like that. And so they budget based off of the quarter. How much are we gonna generate this month? When it get cold outside, how are things gonna change? It's so much different of a life. And I know a lot of people are trying to convince y'all to jump into this life. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't jump into the life. What I am saying is that you truly need to understand what you're getting yourself into, because a lot of y'all gonna crash out thinking that it's sweet and it ain't what you thought it was. And so now you got a lot of people on TikTok worried that they're gonna ban TikTok because that's the way they get a bunch of their monetization and all of this stuff. Most people don't know how to monetize the different platforms. They don't know about sponsorships, content creation, and all of that stuff. And so they quit their job in order to do this thing full time. They don't have the discipline to do it full time because that requires you to operate on your own calendar and your own schedule. A lot of y'all should have learned that during the pandemic when they had y'all working from home. A lot of y'all wasn't disciplined enough to actually work from home, because what happened was once you start getting that freedom, then you just automatically start being late when you wasn't necessarily late when you was going into the office every day, because you had that set schedule. And a lot of people need a set schedule. Some of y'all is just fucking workers. That's just the end of the conversation. Some of y'all are just workers. Everybody is not meant or cut out to be a content creator. And I'll do you one better. Did you know that it's a lot of people that actually are entrepreneurs that envy people that can go to work every day, right? Some of y'all got degrees, or you got skill sets or experience that allow for you to be able to make $100,000 a year in corporate America or more, 150, 200. I know people making $300,000 a year. I know people working multiple different jobs, and they envy you because you get to cut it off at the end of the day. But we have to be on 100% of the time. We can't miss. We can't sit here and go back and forth. We can't sit here and have conversations with y'all talking about, oh man, I'm off for work today, I can use a PTO day or anything like that. That's not how it works. What we have to do is we have to be dialed in 100% of the time, because you don't know what happened. You don't know what's gonna go on. You gotta plan for and be incredibly proactive for what could possibly happen in the future, because the complete landscape can change. As I already indicated, there's a lot of people worried about the ban that's coming to TikTok. If a Chinese company that own ByteDance don't wind up selling it to an American company, and legislators are dictating your business, contracts can go bad, a pandemic can happen and it completely upend your business, right? And then they tell you can't open up your business. There's a lot of people that are in the entrepreneur world and they work 10 times harder than you and they make less money than you. And they don't have the freedom that you have, because more freedom also breeds a situation where you have to go and get it more than everybody else, because you don't know when that lull is gonna come, right? But then a lot of people get really rich, and it's another side of that, right? That's not all great either. Some people generate a lot of revenue, but they don't have the capacity to actually turn it off, or they always gotta be on, or they're always managing people, or they always gotta be doing certain things, right? And the mindset of an entrepreneur could also affect everything that you got going on with your life. It could affect your family. It could affect the relationship that you have with your kids. A lot of times I hear a lot of content creators, like I was talking to my guy today, and he said, Anton, I'm only sleeping like 4 hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day. And I said, man, that's crazy, ain't it? And that's why I'm so adamant about people having calendars and living and dying by their calendar, because I don't know nobody that's able to exist in this life without having a calendar. I don't know anybody that is incredibly successful. And when I say incredibly successful, I'm talking about they really, really getting it, right? I know 0 people that have a net worth of over $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, that make a significant amount of money per year, that is having just passive residual income. That is bullshit. That is the biggest lie that they selling to y'all online. Remember when they were selling y'all all on lies as far as having trucks and getting in the trucking and all of that, and it was temporary and then all of y'all crashed the fuck out? That's similar to what they telling y'all as far as content creation, being a content creator. It's the same thing that they telling y'all when it comes to being a business owner, an entrepreneur, and all of this shit. Let me tell you something, man. We work our ass off. Everything we get, we deserve. This shit didn't come overnight. Everybody that I know, every single person, maybe y'all know somebody that I'm not familiar with, but every person that I know that is successful, and I don't care what they doing, content creation or whatever, they grind, they hustle, they go get it, they turn them streams on, they edit, they learn their craft, they master their craft, they put their 10,000 hours in. And so what they selling y'all is a bunch of bullshit. It's not real. It's not something that you actually can maintain or sustain in order to be successful. So I just want y'all to realistically be able to understand that regardless of the position that you're in. And let me be clear, I wouldn't give this up for the world, because this is just who I am, right? I love this shit. I live and die by it. I sleep in it. It's something that I truly enjoy and I understand. I just want y'all to understand this. No matter what position that you're in, you are blessed. Because if you work in a 9 to 5 and you get into it you still have the option to go and work on your stuff afterwards. Don't quit your fucking job. Stop quitting your job. If it's that meaningful to you, then work it. Grind, hustle, and work it. And then once you get to the point to where you can quit your job, then you can evaluate whether or not you want multiple streams of income, or you want to make sure that you can have that stability at the same time while still generating all of the revenue that you're generating from your business. You want to let your job or your business replace your job. You don't want to just quit your job, and stop quitting your fucking job. You're gonna mess up the bag, man. And then y'all gonna crash out and y'all gonna be trying to find a job. It's gonna be hard out here and you ain't gonna be able to do so, and then you're gonna get mad at everybody else. Look, man, listen, it's hard no matter what you're doing. I know some of y'all like, oh man, I wanna get out of this grind. You got the stability, work on your business. So a lot of entrepreneurs is like, damn, but I ain't got no time to really spend on my family, or I can't go to the gym as much as I want to and shit like that. That's mainly my dilemma, is that I spend the majority of my time grinding, hustling, traveling, getting to it. I got to fly to Tampa this weekend to go and take care of some business right there, and then I got to get right back over here to Detroit. It's going to be a yin and a yang either way. It's a yin and a yang either way. You got to choose which side of the fence you want to be on. I wouldn't trade this life for anything in the world, but I also understood what I was getting into before I got into it. I'm about to jump on my bike, head over to my spot. My spot is literally a little bit over that way. And then we're going to get it in and we're going to continue to rock out, y'all. Be realistic about your goals and then level up and work that shit and go and get it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later.